To run an effective discovery call for outbound, what you will need to understand is where can your potential prospects be at, and how do you show them that gap between where they are today and where they could be if they used your solution. A good and easy to understand example might be using companies that work on the online reputation management industry. What they do is they help companies optimize their ratings, their reviews, social media. Pretty easy to understand. I hope that many of you who are watching this video sometimes check your reviews when you're looking, let's say, for restaurants in a new area. Right, so imagine that the SDR calls all these prospects that they are, let's say, apartment management companies. They own apartment buildings and gets the head of marketing or VP of marketing in a demo, right? Guy agrees, shows up a week or two later, kind of forgot why he took the meeting, but he's willing to come chat for 20 minutes, right? Prospect shows up and he's like, hello, I'm John. I'm the VP of marketing at, let's say, related companies. Um, Happy to be here, whatever, right? So what the AE should do in this case is rather than asking about the initiatives and so on, the first thing should be like, hey, John, thanks for taking the time to meet with us. And, maybe build a little bit of rapport and then go into, hey, I've done a lot of research about your company. Here are all the things I know, which are relevant to our conversation. And I just want to ask you a couple additional questions. So that might be, I know you have 37 buildings across the US where you have apartments. I've checked some of your Google reviews and Yelp reviews, and I know that you are responding to reviews or you're not responding to reviews. I've tried to find social media pages for every building that you have. I have looked at um, your Instagram pages. I've looked at consumer reports and complaints, whatever it is, right? And this will vary company by company. If you're looking at, selling different products, there's different ways to find your data and try to figure out where they are today. Worst case scenario, you can even call the company, talk to the receptionist, call their sales line, talk to somebody, try to figure out what are they doing. When you hop on that call and you show that you really know your prospect, you will gain so much respect by being informed. Next thing to do is to ask them more relevant questions. And then these are not qualifying questions, as in they qualify you in and out, but these will guide your call path. So a really good example of it is if you're in the reputation management industry, I would ask something like, hey, I was checking your reviews on Google and Yelp. Um, and I just had some questions about how you're managing that. So, what is your current setup, or how are you currently monitoring and responding to Google reviews and Yelp reviews? What that helps me understand is, does the company that I'm talking to care about it or not? And if so, how are they doing? And if not, why not? Right? So they're like, oh, one company might say, we're not doing anything. We don't care. I was like, oh, okay, interesting. You don't care. Why do you think that's not important? Or help me understand, like, do you not ever look for reviews? Or, like, what are you focusing on when it comes to your digital marketing? Right? And then you might go ahead, pull up a Google page, go look for apartments near me, and show them that if their reviews and ratings are really low, that might be hurting them. And you drive them through their own customer's journey that says, if I'm looking for apartments I just moved to, let's say, Austin, Texas, and I'm looking for apartments in Austin, like actually the reviews and ratings show up and people read that. So you might be losing market share by not looking at that. And for a lot of people, that's an aha moment. And you know your product and you know where your customers might be. You know what those aha moments are. You know what those gaps are. Another person might be like, oh, yeah, we monitor everything and we make sure it's all good. Okay, that's a different call path. You don't want to go pull a Google search, right? You might say, okay, cool. So when I was researching your company, I found some inconsistencies between Google and Yelp. Do you review and respond to all of those? Uh, who's responsible for that? Is it the property manager itself, or is it, company initiative? Um, if you are responding, then how do you measure the success of the people who are responding, right? But now it's a much more targeted conversation. If I would have right off the bat say, hey, thanks for taking the call. I had a question. How are you measuring the success of your online reputation? I have pigeonholed it into such a small niche that maybe they're like, we're not even monitoring. And then a bad AE would be like, oh, okay, so if you're not monitoring, well, you're unqualified. So Well, if you don't have an initiative for this, then this doesn't work. And then like close lost and SDR, you suck. And that's not the way to go. The way to go is, oh, you're not monitoring? Oh, why? Interesting. Let me pull up a Google search. So what you got to understand for your product is where are the stages where the companies you're talking to could be? What is the result of using your product as an end goal? Where does that get them to? Why is that important to this type of client? And how can you show them that you or your product will get them there, right? And you don't need to yet show them your product at all. The only thing you care is where are they today and where they could get to. You got to solve the problem. You got to find that pain. You got to find that opportunity. I don't like to call it pain. It's either a challenge or an opportunity. It's either they're monitoring all these pages one by one across 40 different websites for 40 different apartments, it sucks. Or it's an opportunity. It's like, oh, they didn't know that this was important, and now they have the opportunity to put some resources into this area and actually gain more market share, right? So hopefully this is helpful, and you understand that an inbound and an outbound discovery call should be completely different in how you flow through it. Thanks.